Right now at 11, a flood watch in effect for the entire Bay Area, and this is why tonight. Heavy rain causing big problems on the roads. One driver in the North Bay tonight landing in a ditch after sliding off the highway. All that water filling creeks and rivers fast, prompting flood fears in communities from the North Bay to the South Bay, and the wind stirring things up tonight, blowing branches off of trees, and the potential for power outages. We are under a microclimate weather alert tonight. Our team of reporters are live covering the rain and the threat of flooding, but we begin with the rain coming down right now where the worst of it is. Meteorologist Mayeda has that.
Yeah, right now we're looking across the Golden Gate Bridge, and if you look closely, you can kind of see the little sheets of rain going past the lights there as the cars drive on by. Our flood watch is now in effect for the entire Bay Area. That started at 10 o'clock tonight, and the runoff flooding is likely to increase as we head into the morning hours when those peak rain rates start to arrive. So right now on our Storm Ranger mobile Doppler radar, you can see some steady rain at times across the North Bay. Nothing too widespread just yet because the core of that heaviest rain is still about 4 to 6 hours offshore. This will make the rain widespread and really kick up the intensity much stronger than what we've seen so far today. So the hour-by-hour outlook as we head towards tomorrow morning shows you when that heaviest rain starts to arrive right there just before sunrise, Central Bay into the South Bay, and some of the updates on these weather models have slowed the system down. Now that's a problem because if you stall out those high rain rates any longer across some of those coastal hilltops, the risk of runoff flooding certainly accelerates. And you can see how most of the Bay Area could see 2 to 4 inches of rain across the mountains, locally higher in some locations that saw those totals close to 5 or 6 inches just last Tuesday. So flood watch is up through 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Wind advisories set to get started at 1 a.m. through 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. That could lead to more problems of downed trees and power issues as you wake up tomorrow morning. We'll have a closer look at when the storm starts to leave the Bay Area coming up in our full forecast in about 12 minutes.
Rob, thanks very much. I think we're getting a reminder of what a winter can be like. It's been a while. North Bay has been getting a soaking for hours now. It's already causing some problems for people up there. Let's go to NBC Bay Area's Vang. She is in San Anselmo with that story. Gia.
And Terry, when we checked in with you at 7 p.m., it was raining. And of course, you can see right around us, it is raining still. And we're 45 minutes away from when we were at that 7 p.m. hit. Now, when it rains like this, everyone always takes a close look at San Anselmo Creek. And as you can see right here, a lot of locals telling us that the creek has risen from all the rain today. And we'll see how high it gets tomorrow as more rain is expected. There's no escaping it. The rain is here and there's lots of it. It's causing slick roads and making it harder for drivers to see.
It's slightly sketchy. I just drove back from SF over the bridge and I could barely see, so I drove really slow.
That's what you'll have to do tomorrow, too, because another dumping is coming.
I was supposed to drive to Tahoe tomorrow morning. Yeah, that's not happening.
In Rohnert Park, wet roads were part of the reason the driver of a truck took out a speed limit sign and ended up in a ditch. The CHP says alcohol was also involved and mixed with the rain didn't help. Burn scars are also a concern in the North Bay as officials warn those areas could be more prone to devastating mudslides like the one we saw in 2019 in Sausalito. In Marin County, more of the same coming out of the sky. The county again opened its emergency shelter for the unhoused. It's the third time this month, but the first time they're doing it for the rain.
One of our criteria for opening is when we're seeing consecutive nights of wet weather, of severe, lots of rainfall, more than an inch for three days straight per night is our criteria. And if you're sleeping in a sleeping bag in a tent and that becomes wet, people can actually become hypothermic even at higher temperatures, in the low 40s.
San Anselmo Creek will continue to rise as a flood watch for the North Bay will last through Saturday. Businesses nearby already know not to mess with Mother Nature. A floodgate already on at least one door. Back out here live by San Anselmo Creek, you can see the creek really rushing right there. You can also see that the trees are really not moving around right now. A wind advisory, though, is going to begin in the North Bay here at 1 a.m. through 8 in the morning. Peak gusts could get up to 50 miles per hour, meaning with the soaked ground, we could see falling debris and power outages. Now, Santa Rosa already reporting hundreds of customers, at least 700 customers without power right now. Live in San Anselmo, Gia Vang, NBC Bay Area News.
Gia, thank you very much. Well, all the rain caused a large sinkhole. This is on Highway 12 in Santa Rosa. This is on the westbound side near Dutton Avenue. Left lane is closed while CHP crews work to repair it. CHP says anyone who can should avoid that area. Otherwise, expect delays. Creeks are in danger of either filling up or swelling past their banks. NBC Bay Area's Alyssa Goard joins us live from Alameda Creek in Fremont. How is the creek there looking? Alyssa.
Well, Terry, just in the few hours that we've been here, we've seen more and more water in this creek, and we've seen the speed of that water ramping up, escalating, and carrying some debris along. People who live near the creek say they plan to keep an eye on it overnight. As the rain came down in the East Bay, so did pieces of Niles Canyon, spilling onto the road at State Route 84. Caltrans closed down the road for hours, working to clear it all up.
I would say, it just gets real busy when this landslide thing happened.
People in the Niles district of Fremont had to snake through local streets to beat traffic. Water levels at nearby Alameda Creek are rising, and unhoused people at an encampment next to the creek took notice.
When I started seeing that they closed off the canyon, someone told me that there was rock slides and whatnot. That's when I started really getting worried.
Kristen Minoz, who lives out of her truck in the encampment, says she knows firsthand how difficult it is to be flooded out. She says some of her neighbors had their tents collapse in last week's rain.
It makes it worse on people who are already struggling, already going through it, and then this weather's just too much.
And she's nervous this weekend's storm will be worse. Over in Santa Cruz tonight, many living in the town of Felton say they've been through this before, watching the San Lorenzo River rise.
You get a good consecutive days where it's just like nonstop rain, then it will start rising like really quickly. Prepared to leave and go to my uncle's if I need to.
Back to Niles Canyon Road, where Caltrans crews opened up the road as planned, but the risk to drivers with these slick roads not going away soon.
Just drive safe and be careful out here because there's some slippery roads out here.
And Alameda County says that Zone 7 Water Agency has pre-filled sandbags available for anyone who needs them. Some of those locations have them available 24/7. Just check the Zone 7 Water Agency website for locations and those details. Live in Niles, Alyssa Goard, NBC Bay Area News.
Alyssa, thank you very much. Wet weather likely played a role in a tragic crash in the North Bay overnight that killed 2 teenagers. Just heartbreaking. Happened on Highway 101 in Novato. This crumpled black Honda Civic was carrying 5 teenagers when the driver slammed into the center divide in wet conditions. California Highway Patrol says the 16-year-old driver and a 17-year-old passenger died. The other 3 teens suffered serious injuries. They're in the hospital. The CHP says 2 of the injured passengers were not wearing their seatbelts. PG&E crews will be busy this weekend. Tonight, only a handful of customers are without power, mainly in the North Bay. In a message on Twitter, the utility says it has crews and equipment set up around the state to handle any widespread outages as quickly as possible. Great way to keep track of the storm and its impacts, the NBC Bay Area app. Folks, this is amazing. It'll give you access to our exclusive radar scan. You can see exactly when the rain will arrive, where you live, and how heavy it's going to be.